Hey guys, today we have Vaibhav and he's having 2.3 year of experience in Java, Spring Boot and microservices domain. And those who want to give same free mock interview, please fill out the form below in the description. So now let's get started. Hey, hello Vaibhav, how are you?
Hi Faizan, hi. I'm
Yeah,
fine. How about you?
yes, I'm also good. Shall we start?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So Vaibhav, can you please introduce yourself and your recent project in brief?
Yeah, my name is Fabab. I
Mm-hmm.
have 2.3 years of experience
Mm-hmm.
in Java Spring Boot
Mm-hmm.
microservices
Mm-hmm.
architecture,
Mm-hmm.
where basic my work is to deliver a microservice application or a web application using a Spring Boot dependencies like JPA and
Mm-hmm.
Web Hibernate and
Mm-hmm.
Spring securities,
Mm-hmm.
where we use Java language for
Mm-hmm.
developing the microservices and the web
Mm-hmm.
application.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Coming to my project, I have worked for last 2 years. I have worked in the three applications, three
Mm-hmm.
projects. That is,
Okay.
one is insurance,
Uh-huh.
another is an OTT platform where we
Mm-hmm.
used to manage the user base
Mm-hmm.
and their packages, which
Mm-hmm.
package they are using.
How
Yeah.
you guys are handling concurrent users?
Uh, Concurrent in the sense, matlab, what type of.
Let's say if a lot of users uh, asking for a same request, so how you guys are handling?
Basically, it is been handled in the AWS because
Mm-hmm.
basically that microservice has been installed in the AWS
Mm-hmm.
services, where
Mm-hmm.
multiple EC2s instances will be created on
Mm-hmm.
the higher requested.
Mm-hmm.
When the request has been a large number, then the multiple
Mm-hmm.
instances has been created accordingly.
Okay. 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 So are you aware about multi-threading?
Yeah, yeah.
What is multi-threading in Java?
Basically, it is used whenever a task is we need to perform a multiple tasks in the
Uh-huh.
concurrent manner.
Uh-huh.
We use a multi-threading. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and we can implement by using a thread class as well as an interface called runnable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how would you handle a situation where multiple threads need to access a shared resource without using the synchronize keyword?
By using executed service
Mm-hmm.
in Java, basically we can provide the number of threads into
Uh-huh.
it,
Mm-hmm.
and providing the thread,
Mm-hmm.
we create a thread executor object,
Okay.
and inside that we can pass a callable interface.
Uh-huh.
That callable is basically a task,
Uh-huh.
and after that we can submit that particular call a submit method in that object executor
Uh-huh.
service. Then
Mm-hmm.
all the tasks will be performed
Mm-hmm.
synchronously. Matlab, synchronous means concurrently. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Okay. So can you tell me how can we create a thread step by step?
Okay. Using a thread class or runnable, whichever.
Uh-huh.
Basically, uh, for creating a thread, we can extend the thread class or implement a runnable class. We will go
Mm-hmm.
to the thread class.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose there is a class called A, we can extend that particular class using a thread, and
Mm-hmm.
we have to override method called
Mm-hmm.
run.
Mm-hmm.
Into a run method, we have to pass the task that we want to
Mm-hmm.
perform in the in a thread we
Mm-hmm.
are running. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, in the main method, we have to
Mm-hmm.
create a thread object, and in that particular object we have to call them start method.
Mm. Okay. Okay. What are the potential issues when directly extending the thread class instead of implementing the runnable interfaces for a high load application?
uh, uh, Look, I don't know about the issues, but
Mm-hmm.
we can have the issue like, suppose a class is extending a thread class, and it has
Mm-hmm.
also has to extend any other class for any other implementation or any
Mm-hmm.
other functionality. Then it will be impact, because
Mm-hmm.
there is no multiple inheritance in
Mm-hmm.
Java.
Mm-hmm.
So we can use a runnable instead of this, so other class can be also extend in the class, in
Mm-hmm.
that particular class. And
Mm-hmm.
on the and in the matlab, um, not, I don't know about the how, what will be
Okay.
the cause
Yeah,
or
it's fine.
issue.
So let me tell you.
Mm.
Extending the thread class can be problematic because it forces the class to inherit from the thread and preventing it from extending any other class due to its Java single inheritance feature. This
Yeah.
can lead to poor object-oriented design and increased complexity in high-load application.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Weber, I would like to share one important thing with you. Actually,
Mm.
we had launched complete interview preparation material, structured step by myself, expert and MNC's interviewers. And the best part is that now no one need to go anywhere else to prepare interviews. There is a 99% chance that interviewers will ask question from this material. So basically, it contains a lot of material categorized by experience level. Means each experience level has different material with all possible interview questions and answers for Java, Spring Boot, Spring Framework, Maven, Git, Spring Security, Spring Data, JPA, Kafka, microservices, Java coding questions, Stream API coding questions, and many more. I have provided the link to get this in the below description. And if someone needs this material plus two real and client enterprise projects for reference plus one-on-one lifetime doubt sessions and referrals to the MNCs, then they should check the interview preparation kit. I will provide the link for this as well in the description below. So now moving to our interview. So as we were discussing about threads, so can you tell me what are the different states of thread in Java?
Yeah. First of all, creational state.
Mm-hmm.
Another is runnable.
Mm-hmm.
Third one is waiting.
Okay.
And fourth one is a block, and last one is terminate.
Terminated.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Mm.
Can you describe a situation where a thread remains indefinitely in the waiting state? How would you debug this?
uh, Basically, whenever the deadlock
Mm-hmm.
or deadlock situation occurs,
Mm-hmm.
uh, this occurs whenever there is a nested synchronized block, or
Mm-hmm.
a nested lock
Mm-hmm.
system is there.
Mm-hmm.
For not getting this type of issue, we can
Mm-hmm.
avoid the locking system,
Mm-hmm.
avoid the nested locking, and or if we are in the state of any
Mm-hmm.
nested locking, we can
Mm-hmm.
follow the pattern,
Mm-hmm.
whichever follow the same pattern of an locking that is being used in other classes.
Mm. Okay. Okay. What's the purpose of a start method?
To run the particular thread.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Uh, okay. And what is synchronization in Java?
uh, Synchronization is basically all that particular method or a block of
Mm-hmm.
code can be accessed by only one thread at a time.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Moving ahead, have you worked with exceptions?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what's the difference between exception and error?
Basically, exception can be handled, but error can't. And exception can be handled using a try catch plot or a
Mm-hmm.
throw keyword,
Mm-hmm.
whereas a error can occur unexpectedly, like stack overflow, heap,
Mm-hmm.
out of memory exceptions, and uh, any other cases. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How does a try catch block work in Java, and also explain the purpose of the finally block?
uh, Basically, whenever a set of code,
Uh-huh.
there is a set of code that
Mm-hmm.
may throw any checked exception or
Mm-hmm.
any unchecked exception. To
Mm-hmm.
handle that unwanted exceptions, we can
Mm-hmm.
use a try block and
Mm-hmm.
catch block. Basically, inside the try block, we write all the codes that can cause an exception,
Mm-hmm.
checked or unchecked. And using a catch block, we can define that particular exception class
Mm-hmm.
that may occur, like array out of bond,
Mm-hmm.
or we can say file not found. So we can handle that particular exception
Mm-hmm.
in a better manner, And in finally block, we mainly use it for closing the resource that is been
Mm-hmm.
used, like
Mm-hmm.
database connection and others.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So will finally be always executed?
Yeah,
Is there any
all
way to skip that?
that only the case will occur whenever the system.exit button is
Exit.
exit method is called, or any system crash is been occurred, system
Mm-hmm.
crash or JVM crash. Yeah.
Okay. 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 So in what scenarios would you create a custom checked exception versus a custom unchecked exception?
Okay, checked exception. Basically, whenever suppose there is
Mm-hmm.
a case of a user not found, so we can create a unchecked exception for this, and checked exception. Uh,
So what's the difference between checked and unchecked exception?
Checked exception is basically the exceptions that are inside the exception class,
Mm-hmm.
apart from the runtime exception class.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas unchecked exception is all the classes that is present
Mm-hmm.
in inside the runtime exception. And
Mm-hmm.
unchecked exception is not checked by the compiler, whereas checked exception is
Mm-hmm.
checked during the compilation of a Java code.
Okay. 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 What happens if an exception is thrown in the finally block? Will it override the exception in the try block?
Uh, can you repeat it?
What happens if an exception is thrown in the finally block? Will it override the exception in the try block?
No, no. It will throw an exception, unhandled exception. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, but yeah, actually, this will override an exception thrown in the try block. But
Okay.
this can lead to a loss of information related to the original exception unless it's properly logged or handled in the catch block.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, how does exception propagation work? Do you know?
Uh, Means, what you are asking for? What should I
Do you know
explain
about
in this?
exception propagation? Like uh, from one method to another method, like method A to
Okay.
method B to method C. It's propagating.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, the exception,
Mm-hmm.
this can be, this can be a
Mm-hmm.
method, exception chain. We can say this.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, suppose we are using a throw
Mm-hmm.
keyword
Mm-hmm.
in a method. Uh, Suppose we are using throws and throw. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, a throws is used for throw is used for use for throwing exceptions,
Mm-hmm.
or a custom exception. Okay. uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Whenever we need to throw an exception, and it can
Mm-hmm.
be handled using a throws keyword in a method. Okay. That
Mm-hmm.
whichever whoever calls that particular method, that is been handled by that method. And
Mm-hmm.
if that particular method is not been handled by any other, then it can it is been handled using a JVM. मतलब,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, what challenges might you face when implementing a centralized exception?
uh, I'm not aware of this. Yeah.
Okay. Have you worked on creating the centralized exception,
No,
global
not till
exception?
now. In Spring Boot, yeah, at the rate controller advice, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
rest controller
yeah,
advice.
yeah. So in that only I'm asking.
Okay. Basically, for that we have to make a class, and we have to annotate using a controller,
Mm-hmm.
REST controller advice, and we have to create a method and
Mm-hmm.
annotate by using a REST state at the rate
Mm-hmm.
request
Mm-hmm.
status. We can override on the basis of status code, or
Mm-hmm.
using a at the rate exceptional handling.
Mm-hmm.
We can provide the particular exception that has been occurred, accordingly we will send that
Mm-hmm.
request
Mm-hmm.
whichever the exception has been occurred.
Okay. Okay. What are the four pillars of object-oriented programming?
Encapsulation,
Mm-hmm.
abstraction,
Mm-hmm.
polymorphism, and
Mm-hmm.
mm, inheritance. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, how would an understanding of these pillars change your approach to designing a software solution?
uh, can you give me example, matlab,
Like, let's say, you are creating an application, you are creating a program without using the OOPS concept. Now, OOPS concept, someone introduced you OOPS concept.
hmm.
Now you are using, and now you are using the OOPS in your programming. So, what your approaches are changed here?
Okay,
Like,
basically
what benefits you are getting now that you were not getting before?
okay, first of all, there is a benefit, we are getting a benefit of inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple classes can inherit that particular we can inherit other
Mm-hmm.
methods that we do not need to reuse the we do uh,
Mm-hmm.
code reusability be there.
Mm-hmm.
If we do not use any inheritance, then
Mm-hmm.
we have to write a
Mm-hmm.
duplicate code, first of
Mm-hmm.
all.
Mm-hmm.
Another is
Mhm.
maintainability will be
Mhm.
improved. Also,
Mhm.
easy in debugging, and good structure of an code will be maintained if we use
Mhm.
the OOPS concept.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay. Can you give an example where method overloading could lead to errors if not properly managed?
Method overloading. uh, no, I can't think about that any scenarios.
Okay. Okay, like scenarios, I mean, like if we give some incorrect signatures, so it might lead some errors, right?
Yeah, yeah, parameters, yeah,
Mm.
incorrect parameters, yeah.
Mm. So that we need to consider, that we need to manage very, I mean, properly. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Uh, what's the difference between abstraction and capitalization? And please also provide a real world example.
Okay.
Uh,
Basically, abstraction is hiding the implementation.
mm-hmm,
Like we can say the laptop, mobile phones,
mm-hmm,
fan.
mm-hmm,
This is a electronics device. We don't know
mm-hmm,
the internal functionality, but we can use that particular by
mm-hmm,
calling any by pressing any key, or
mm-hmm,
calling any methods, or switching on the fan. We don't know the implementation, how internally it is working. We only
mm-hmm,
call that particular function, or enter that particular key. This is
mm-hmm,
called an abstraction,
mm-hmm,
whereas encapsulation is we are binding the we can say we are providing the security,
mm-hmm,
binding the methods and the
mm-hmm,
uh, the properties, or
mm-hmm,
binding the properties inside into a single unit.
mm-hmm,
uh, best example will be we cannot change that particular we uh, the real world example I'm not able to recall that, but yeah, encapsulation is basically providing a security for that particular product or a class. uh,
okay.
uh,
So encapsulation, like we can say how a microwave oven hides its internal mechanism and user interacts with it,
yeah, yeah, that will be the
right?
good example. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
With through a very simple interface. So yeah,
Yeah.
how do inheritance and polymorphism work together?
In overriding,
Mm-hmm.
that is a concept where the whenever suppose a parent class contains a method
Mm-hmm.
that is sum, and b matlab, a child class also implements that sum method, but in a
Mm-hmm.
different matlab, operation is been performed in the
Mm-hmm.
sum method, so we can override the parent class parent
Mm-hmm.
method into the child method.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Mm, what are the benefits and drawbacks of using interfaces compared to abstract classes in Java?
Drawbacks, okay. Suppose there is an interface that
Mm-hmm.
has matlab, uh, uh, matlab different number of matlab, suppose there is an interface that contains a 5 abstract method. If any other classes implements that particular interface,
Mm-hmm.
that it has to matlab, implement all the
Mm-hmm.
method present in the interface, whereas the
Mm-hmm.
abstraction we only matlab, we can only implement or override a
Mm-hmm.
particular method that we need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, can you discuss a scenario where choosing an interface over an abstract class would be a mistake?
Mm, uh, suppose there is a case
Mm-hmm.
wherever suppose a class has to implement the multiple behaviors. Suppose an interface can define multiple behaviors, like
Mm-hmm.
suppose there is a duck that can fly, eat, but swim also. Okay. So for the multiple inheritance, suppose a class having matlab, we can say a class is a duck class
Mm-hmm.
that can only have particular properties like fly
Mm-hmm.
and eat, not swim. So
Mm-hmm.
we can implement the method matlab, interface like fly interface comma eat interface. Okay. And
Okay.
matlab, all the methods present in the particular interface, we can matlab, implement that method, whereas
Mm-hmm.
in the abstraction we cannot matlab, we cannot have a multiple inheritance in it. Matlab, multiple inheritance will not be able to achieve that.
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay. So, can you explain the diamond problem in multiple inheritance and how Java resolves it?
Yeah, basically the diamond problem, whenever two different classes is been
Mm-hmm.
implemented or extended by
Mm-hmm.
the same class, and both the classes contain the same name,
Mm-hmm.
or we can say matlab, there is a parent class that also
Mm-hmm.
contains the same method having the
Mm-hmm.
same name and signature. So this problem occurs when the user calls that particular method, then it gets confused matlab, from which class we have to pick that particular matlab, method.
Mm-hmm.
So in Java we can achieve a multiple inheritance using a interface.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this problem matlab, diamond problem also occurs in the interface using a default method. And it can be resolved using a super keyword and
Mm-hmm.
overriding that particular default method.
Okay. Okay. So, what are the best practices for creating REST APIs?
Best practices. First
Mm-hmm.
of all, we have to see if suppose we have to consider the verbs. It is a get, or suppose we are only fetching the information. Matlab,
Mm-hmm.
we are fetching the information from any database or any
Mm-hmm.
other APIs. So we will. Matlab, we have to give that particular API as a get API, and
Mm-hmm.
for the post we use whenever the user is used for
Mm-hmm.
inserting any record, we use a post mapping. For put, it is used for updating that particular
Mm-hmm.
API data set that is been passed in the request body,
Mm-hmm.
and delete is used for deleting a record. And I'm not pretty much sure about the patch, but
Mm-hmm.
there is also patch is also used for updating the information.
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay. And how do you secure REST API?
There is different we can use a JWT token.
Mm-hmm.
Basically a JWT token is a stateless approach,
Mm-hmm.
where we do not need to manage that particular session or any user information.
Mm-hmm.
We have to pass that bearer token, JWT token, into the header, and
Mm-hmm.
we can authenticate that particular JWT token using their signature and the
Mm-hmm.
expiry time.
Okay. Do we have any other way other than this
Uh,
JWT?
yeah, also we can manage. Suppose there is a login page,
Mm-hmm.
we are logging that particular user using a
Mm-hmm.
login ID and password, and
Mm-hmm.
we can maintain, after login is been successfully done, we can
Mm-hmm.
maintain their session in Redis or
Mm-hmm.
Hazelcast,
Mm-hmm.
and we can see that particular the user is been coming from any third party application. We
Mm-hmm.
can see whether that particular user has the session or not
Okay.
by seeing
So
the
have you
CA.
heard about OAuth?
OAuth, yeah, yeah,
Okay. So how
yeah.
does OAuth work? Do you know?
Yes, yes. Basically, it is also it also uses the same JWT
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Only the all the information that is been stored is in the authentication server, where, such as Google. All the information, user information, will be stored in
Mm-hmm.
there. All
Mm-hmm.
the validation is been done there.
Mm-hmm.
Only we have to call that particular server, and
Mm-hmm.
whenever the user hits any that OAuth or
Mm-hmm.
Google, the Google will validate that particular user and
Mm-hmm.
send us the bearer token, and we can validate that bearer token using their methods and
Okay.
dependencies.
Okay. So are you using Maven or Gradle?
uh, I have worked in both, yeah.
Both. So as per you, which one should be preferable?
uh, Basically, in Maven we use the XML, and
Mm-hmm.
we can have a conditional operation
Mm-hmm.
on the basis of any
Mm-hmm.
production environment, on the
Mm-hmm.
basis of environment. So,
Mm-hmm.
and also Gradle provides all that. All that functionality. We can
Mm-hmm.
have a conditional base dependency injection in
Mm-hmm.
according to the environment. Also,
Mm-hmm.
Gradle is more faster in case of Maven
Okay.
while compiling or building
Okay.
the project.
So do you know about M2 folder in Maven?
Yeah, basically it handles the dependency. I'm not pretty much sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So let's
Yeah.
say we have fetched some dependencies, so that gets stored in the M2 folder. There's some hierarchy. So how can we do that in Gradle?
I'm not
Okay.
sure about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's a Git tool you guys use? GitHub or GitLab?
We use GitLab.
GitLab. Okay. Uh, do you know about cherry picking? Cherry pick.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Basically, suppose there is
Mm-hmm.
multiple commits that is been done, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to pick only that particular commit and
Mm-hmm.
merge into the any other branches.
Branch. Mm-hmm.
So we use cherry picking for that.
Okay. And what is rebase?
Rebase is used for uh, combining multiple commits into a single commit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, uh, uh, what's a production environments and dev environment? So, how many environments you guys are using in your current project?
Basically three. One is four. There is one is uh, first of all dev,
Mm-hmm.
and UAT,
Mm-hmm.
and beta, and prod.
Okay. What's up after dev? What you said?
UAT.
UAT. It's for testing.
Yeah, it is for
And after
testing.
testing,
Uh,
UAT.
we go for the beta, where the all the client will be seeing all the functionality that is working fine. After that, we
Okay.
go to the prod.
Okay, so let's say there are two features coming in, and you guys having only one environment, that is UAT. So how you guys manage? Or there are different like UAT one, UAT two.
Okay, you are asking for that if there is a two feature that is been concurrently run.
Uh,
Uh, we use same UAT environment
Same UAT.
because because we only have one server UAT server
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
that.
So then you guys need to create feature branch, right?
We
Feature.
distribute all the different branches accordingly.
Okay. Okay. So do you have experience writing JUnit test cases as well?
No, but I know little bit about the JUnit, but I haven't done any yet.
Why? Like in your recent project, don't you write
We
JUnit test cases?
use the unit cases, but I didn't get any work on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
but let's say you got some dev work and you just wrote some line of codes, and so don't you write test cases for those lines of code or not?
Not till now.
So there is no rule.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So okay, Vaibhav. Yeah, it's done from my end.